Hey guys, welcome to my video. Please like and subscribe if this video helps you in any way. If you've clicked on this video, you most likely have been wondering whether a cat or a dog would be better suited to your lifestyle. There's always going to be advantages and disadvantages to both. So my intention is to help you guys out in making your choice an easier one, hopefully. Let's go ahead and get into the video. So this is my kitty Moki. He's trying to get away from me right now, but you may have remembered him from some of my previous videos. He's honestly the best. So if you want to find out why I chose to have a cat over a dog, then keep watching. I have 10 reasons. I do love dogs. I'm actually a dog and a cat person. I used to be fully a dog person, and now I love both. First reason why I chose to have a cat versus a dog is because you don't need to walk them. I've owned 3 dogs in my lifetime in the last 20 years or so, and I can tell you that the worst part of having a dog is waking up at 6 a.m. or waking up in the middle of the night because they need to go to the bathroom. They need to pee. They need to poop outside. I've tried pee pads training with dogs. Pee pads just don't work in the long run. Like, I've had to really be extra vigilant to make sure that the dogs don't mistake a rug for a pee pad because it has similar texture to it. So in concept, it sounds great, but it's also only for really tiny dogs. So if you're interested in getting something like a medium-sized dog or a larger dog, the pee pads obviously don't work. If you live somewhere really cold like I do in Canada, or somewhere where there's snow, when you're cozy and like during the holidays, for example, sleeping in every day, the last thing you want to do is have to get up early. That brings me to reason number 2. Cats train themselves to go to the bathroom. They are self-trained. You don't need to train them. Dogs take weeks, if not months, to train to go to the bathroom properly. And I find that is the main reason why people decide not to have dogs. I've heard that the main reason why people decide to get rid of dogs and leave them at shelters is because they constantly have accidents getting their house really dirty and stinky. You know, it just takes so much more effort to train a dog than it does to just get a cat. A cat will automatically know what to do. All you have to do is show it where the litter box is. I was amazed that the first day that we brought Moki to our house, he knew exactly where to go. All I had to do was show him his little room. We kept him confined for a little bit. I had never had a cat before, so to me, that was amazing. The hardest part of having a dog is the beginning stages of the first few months when it constantly has accidents and has to go to the bathroom every hour or 2. You know, I can't express to you what a relief it has been compared to what it was like having a puppy. Having a kitten was so much easier. It was like there's no comparison. The peace of mind that you have when you're out of the house, when you're going to work. I hope they don't have an accident while I'm gone. I have to rush home. So that leads me to my reason number 3, which is you don't need to be home all the time. If you're the type of person who likes to go out a lot, especially after work or on the weekends, and you're constantly away from home, it may not be realistic for you to get a dog just because they require a lot more attention and affection. I still feel guilty when I leave the house for too long or when I'm gone all day, but if I do happen to have a really busy day, I know that the cat is okay. Which brings me to my 4th point. Cats are self-sufficient. They're not needy. Some family members have expressed in the past that they were honestly super annoyed with their dogs sometimes because they would follow you like a shadow from room to room, and some people like that. Like, if you like that sort of attention and that sort of neediness, and that they have to constantly be around you, maybe a dog is for you. But me personally wouldn't want a little creature to constantly be following me and be at my foot every time I take a step in the house. A cat is the best of both worlds. A cat can be very affectionate. Other times it's more self-sufficient and wants to be independent and hang out on its own. But you know that they're there, and a few times during the day they come up to you and they want to be with you and they want to express affection for you. Which leads me to point number 5. Cats are a lot more laid back and have a much more chill type of energy. Dogs do a lot of jumping and running around, and you know, that's great for someone who is very energetic naturally and that's their type of personality. That might be beautifully suited for you. But if you're like me and you're more laid back and a little bit more chill. You don't like to necessarily be constantly on the go doing something active, then a cat is probably most likely suited for you. I know from my personal experience that when I've had dogs and I came back exhausted after a long day at work, like the last thing I felt like doing was taking my dog out for a long walk. I just really didn't feel like it. If you want something to have to like to encourage you to go outside more, maybe a dog would be a better choice for you. But I know from experience, just from seeing a lot of people that have a lot of small dogs, it may start out that way, that they're saying, yeah, I'm gonna take it out for walks 3 times a day. I'm gonna be so much more active and healthy. But what ends up happening is they get tired, they get lazy, they just don't feel like it, and then they end up just taking the dog out in the backyard. And oftentimes that's the only place the dog ever sees, which is kind of sad. And I didn't want that to be my experience. If I have a dog, I'm committed to taking it out for at least 2 full walks a day. It's like, it's really nice to just come in to the house and your cat just walks up to you calmly. They also don't jump on you, which could be a painful thing if you have a bigger dog. To me, that's just the type of atmosphere I appreciate at home, is when I come home, there's not something scurrying around like crazy, jumping up, being hyper. It's just like your cat's there, it looks at you, it acknowledges you. Moki oftentimes actually loves to be in the same room with me. So he'll sit there and he'll just be a good little kitty, just minding his own business. But it's heartwarming to know that he wants to be with me. He just has a different, more calm way of expressing that. Whereas a dog is just, you know, a little bit too crazy, may get a little bit too hyper. And a cat is just like a very relaxing presence, and I love that. Yes. Good boy. Reason number 6 is that you don't need to bathe cats. A dog you would probably need to bathe about every 2 weeks. My cat, I've never bathed once. I mean, I've tried. Trust me, I've tried. Some of you, that may be gross, but I've never actually had to bathe him. A cat licks themselves. Like, along with being self-sufficient personality-wise, they're physically self-sufficient because a lot of the time they bathe themselves daily. You know, they're actually cleaner than dogs. Dogs get stinky, whereas a cat, despite me never bathing him, smells amazing. Actually, he smells really good most of the time. Like, I'm like, how do you smell this good? I don't understand. Number 7 is just a really brief point. You don't get slobber over everything. I know not every single dog breed is gonna be very slobbery, yet I've had times where I've had to wash the floor on a daily basis. If you're a very clean person, that might drive you nuts. Reason number 8 to get a cat versus a dog. A cat doesn't need as much space. If you have a small apartment or have limited space, or even if you live in, you know, somebody's basement, a cat is the ideal pet for that. A dog needs more space to run around. And people, honestly, who don't have the time to take their dogs out for walks have dogs that then have this built up energy that they don't know what to do with. Bigger dog breeds are notorious for ripping your pillows and stuffed toys apart. A cat doesn't need as much room because although they do have times when they are more active, getting a cat condo or often just getting a few good toys and just even like a stack of boxes together or something is enough to entertain a cat. A dog needs a lot more effort to entertain it and to keep it active. Point number 9 is cats are a lot less expensive to take care of. Dogs need collars, leashes, more food, more toys, more supplies, just in general. Another thing that can be very expensive with dogs is a lot of people choose to put their dogs into puppy classes or training classes, especially larger breeds, but even smaller ones, you know, to make them more manageable for you to be able to take them out on walks and to socialize them more. You'll need to pay for all these really expensive classes. And a cat, you don't really need to train. I mean, my cat comes when I call him better than my dogs ever did. And that might be all you need, is like a cat is gonna keep you company, a cat's gonna come when they're called, and that's it. Like, you don't need it to do cartwheels for you. As I've mentioned in my previous point, it doesn't take much to entertain a cat. Cats are hilarious and they will make you laugh so much. with just honestly the tiniest little toy and the tiniest little thing that's not even considered a toy. Like Moki was playing with a Q-tip for days and weeks. He was entertained. Every time he saw that Q-tip, he would run around and he would play along with it. And it was just hilarious to see. Like, such a simple, cheap thing. It's not gonna cost you even a penny for that. Entertained him more than some of the cat toys that I bought him. So over time, I've actually been buying less and less cat toys. Through the fact that they entertain themselves so easily, they'll in turn entertain you. And my final point, point number 10, is that because of all the reasons I mentioned before, cats are easier to take care of, and therefore they're a great starter pet. I've often heard this from many people as well, is if you're not sure whether you should get a cat or a dog, you're kind of leaning more even towards a dog, but you know, because of all the maintenance involved in a dog, that it may not be the right time for you to have one. A cat is such a better option for someone that is just getting into pet ownership. Hi. So thank you so much for watching my video. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys learned a lot. It took me a while to figure out what I wanted to get, whether I wanted to get a cat versus a dog. But then over time, it just became obvious that the best choice for me would be to get a cat. And I'm so happy that I chose him. I'm so happy that I have him in my life, and I wouldn't change a thing about it. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and like this video if you liked it. Bye. Bye.